You are not separate from God. You are not disconnected from the source of all creation. This is the truth that changes everything, and yet it's the truth most of us spend our entire lives running from. We've been taught to believe that we're alone, that we're small, that we're limited beings struggling to get the attention of some distant deity sitting on a throne somewhere far away. But that's not the truth. That's never been the truth. The universe doesn't work that way. God doesn't work that way. You don't work that way. What you are, at your core, is the same essence that creates galaxies, that breathes life into every living thing, that orchestrates the perfect dance of atoms and molecules and stars. You are that, not a piece of it, not separate from it. You are it, experiencing itself through the unique lens of your individual life. When you look up at the night sky and see billions of stars scattered across the darkness, you're not looking at something foreign to you. You're looking at your relatives. You're made of stardust. Literally, the calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the oxygen you breathe. All of it was forged in the heart of dying stars billions of years ago. You are the universe becoming conscious of itself. You are God experiencing what it's like to be you. This isn't poetry, this isn't metaphor, this is physics, this is biology, this is the fundamental nature of reality. And when you truly understand this, when you let it sink into every cell of your body, everything changes. Your entire life transforms because you stop seeing yourself as separate from the power that creates worlds. Think about it. What is God? Is God some old man with a beard who judges you and keeps score of your mistakes? Is God some distant, unreachable force that you have to beg and plead with to get what you need? Or is God the infinite, creative intelligence that flows through everything that exists? Is God the field of pure potentiality from which all things emerge? I'm telling you, God is not separate from you. God is not outside of you. God is the very essence of your being. It's the life force that beats your heart without you having to think about it. It's the intelligence that heals your wounds, that grows your hair, that digests your food. It's the creative power that gives you ideas, that allows you to love, that enables you to dream and hope and create. And here's what's so incredible about this truth. If you are not separate from God, then you have access to all the qualities of God. You have access to infinite creativity. You have access to unlimited love. You have access to boundless wisdom. You have access to the power that creates universes. It's not somewhere else. It's not in some future time when you become good enough or spiritual enough. It's here, right now, inside you. But we don't live this way, do we? We live like we're disconnected. We live like we're powerless. We live like victims of circumstance, tossed around by the winds of fate, hoping that maybe, just maybe, if we're lucky, God will notice us and throw us a bone. And that's the great tragedy. That's the great illusion. Because the truth is, you are never disconnected from Source. You can't be. It's impossible. You're like a wave thinking it's separate from the ocean. The wave says, I'm just a little wave. I'm not powerful like the ocean. The ocean is huge and mighty, and I'm small and insignificant. But the wave is the ocean. It's made of the same water, governed by the same laws, connected to every other wave, connected to the depths, connected to the whole. The wave's sense of separation is just an illusion created by its temporary form. That's you. You're the wave thinking you're separate from the ocean of consciousness that is God. And because you believe in this separation, you live in fear, you live in lack, you live in limitation. You think you have to struggle and fight and compete for the good things in life because you believe there's not enough to go around. You believe you're separate from the source of supply. But when you wake up to the truth, when you realize that you are not separate, everything shifts. You stop living from fear and you start living from love. You stop living from lack and you start living from abundance. You stop living from ego and you start living from spirit. And that's when miracles become natural. That's when synchronicities happen all the time. That's when your life becomes a beautiful dance with the divine. Now, let me tell you something about this universe we live in. This universe is not random, it's not chaotic, it's not meaningless. The universe operates according to precise mathematical laws. There's an intelligence behind everything. There's an order to it all. And that intelligence, that order, is what we call God. Scientists have discovered that the universe began with a big bang about 14 billion years ago. From a single point of infinite density and temperature, everything that exists exploded into being. And here's what's remarkable. In that first fraction of a second, all the laws of physics that govern our reality were set in motion. The strong force, the weak force, gravity, electromagnetism, all perfectly calibrated to allow for the existence of matter, of stars, of planets, of life. If any of these forces had been even slightly different, we're talking about changes so small they're almost inconceivable, none of this would exist. The universe would have either collapsed back on itself immediately or expanded so quickly that matter could never form. The fact that we exist, that anything exists, is a miracle of such staggering improbability that it demands an explanation. And the explanation is consciousness. The explanation is intelligence. The explanation is God. The universe didn't happen by accident. It happened through intention. It happened through the same creative force that flows through you. Right now, as you hear these words, you see, the universe is not a dead mechanical thing. The universe is alive. The universe is conscious. And you are the universe becoming aware of itself. When you look at a flower, the universe is looking at itself. When you feel love, the universe is feeling love. When you create something beautiful, the universe is creating through you. This is the secret truth about God that changes everything. God is not separate from creation. God is creation. God is the creative process itself. And you, as a human being, are the highest expression of that creative process in this corner of the universe. You have the ability to think, to reason, to choose, to love, to create consciously. You have the ability to co-create with the divine intelligence that sources everything. But here's where most people get stuck. They believe in God, but they believe in a God that's separate from them. They pray to God, but they pray as if they're beggars asking for favors from a stingy king. They try to be good so that God will reward them, as if God is keeping score and they need to earn enough points to get into heaven. This is all backwards. This is all based on the illusion of separation. The truth is, you don't have to earn God's love. You already have it. You are it. You don't have to become worthy of God's blessings. You already are worthy. You were born worthy. Your worthiness is inherent in your existence. Think about it this way. Does a flower have to earn the right to bloom? Does a tree have to prove itself worthy of growing? Does the ocean have to justify its existence? No. They simply are. They exist as expressions of the creative force of the universe, and that's enough. That's perfect. You're the same way. You exist as an expression of God, and that's enough. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to earn anything. You just have to align yourself with the truth of who you are. You have to let go of the beliefs that tell you you're not good enough, not smart enough, not worthy enough. Those beliefs are lies. They're illusions. They're not based on truth. The truth is that you are a magnificent divine being having a temporary human experience. The truth is that you have unlimited potential because you're connected to the unlimited power of the universe. The truth is that you can create anything you want in your life because you're made of the same stuff that creates galaxies. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, if this is true, why is my life such a mess? If I'm so connected to God, why do I struggle? Why do I suffer? Why don't I have everything I want? And these are valid questions. They deserve real answers. Here's the answer. You're not disconnected from God, but you can be disconnected from the awareness of your connection to God. You can forget who you are. You can buy into the illusion of separation. And when you do that, when you believe you're just a small, limited, separate self, you create from that belief. You manifest limitation because that's what you believe in. Your beliefs create your reality. This is not New Age nonsense. This is quantum physics. At the subatomic level, the observer affects the observed. Your consciousness literally shapes the reality you experience. When you believe you're limited, you experience limitation. When you believe you're abundant, you experience abundance. When you believe you're connected to infinite intelligence, you experience wisdom and guidance. The universe is like a mirror. It reflects back to you what you believe about yourself. If you believe you're separate from God, you'll experience separation. If you believe you're one with God, you'll experience unity. If you believe life is hard, life will be hard. If you believe life is a gift, life will be a gift. This is the power you have. This is the creative power of consciousness. You're not a victim of circumstances. You're the creator of your experience. And the moment you realize this, the moment you take responsibility for your beliefs and your thoughts and your choices, that's the moment you reclaim your power. But taking responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself for everything that happens. It doesn't mean beating yourself up for your past mistakes or your current circumstances. Taking responsibility means recognizing that you have the power to choose your response to everything that happens. You have the power to choose what you believe. You have the power to choose what you focus on. You have the power to choose who you're going to be. And when you make those choices from a place of understanding that you're connected to God, everything changes. When you choose to see yourself as a divine being having a human experience rather than a human being trying to have a spiritual experience, your whole perspective shifts. You stop trying to get things from the universe and you start letting things flow through you from the universe. You stop asking, what can I get? And you start asking, what can I give? You stop focusing on what's missing in your life and you start appreciating what's already here. You stop waiting for your life to get better and you start making your life better by being better. This is what it means to align with God. This is what it means to live from your divine nature. It's not about being perfect. It's not about never making mistakes. It's about remembering who you are. It's about choosing love over fear, abundance over lack, possibility over limitation. And here's the beautiful thing. When you start living this way, when you start operating from the truth of your divine connection, life responds. The universe responds. God responds. Because you're no longer fighting against the current. You're swimming with it. You're flowing with the creative force of life rather than resisting it. Synchronicities start happening. The right people show up at the right time. Opportunities appear out of nowhere. Problems that seemed insurmountable suddenly resolve themselves. It's like the whole universe conspires to support you. And it does. Because you're not separate from the universe. You're part of it. When you align with your true nature, the universe aligns with you. Now, let me talk about this idea of prayer for a moment. Most people pray as if they're trying to change God's mind. They pray as if God is withholding good things from them, and they need to convince God to let go of the blessings. Please, God, give me this. Please, God, help me with that. And there's nothing wrong with asking for help, but that kind of prayer comes from a belief in separation. Real prayer is different. Real prayer is not about changing God's mind, it's about changing your mind. It's about aligning yourself with the flow of divine energy that's already moving through you. It's about opening yourself up to receive what's already being given. It's about removing the blocks you've put in place through your beliefs and your fears and your doubts. When you pray from a place of understanding your oneness with God, you don't beg, you don't plead, you give thanks, you affirm, you claim what's already yours by divine right. You say, thank you for the abundance that flows through me. Thank you for the love that I am. Thank you for the infinite creativity that sources my life. You pray as if your prayers have already been answered, because in the spiritual realm, they have. You just need to align yourself with that reality. This is what it means to pray without ceasing, as the scriptures say. It doesn't mean you're on your knees 24 hours a day. It means your whole life becomes a prayer. It means you live in a constant state of gratitude and connection. It means you see God in everything and everyone. You see the divine in the face of a stranger. You see the sacred in an ordinary moment. You see the miracle in your next breath. When you live this way, you're not waiting for some future time when you'll finally be spiritual enough or good enough or evolved enough to experience God. You're experiencing God right now, in this moment, in this body, in this life. You're not trying to get somewhere else. You're being fully present right here, knowing that right here is where God is. Right here is where the divine lives. Right here is where the miracle is happening. And this brings me to something really important. A lot of people think that spirituality means rejecting the physical world. They think you have to rise above your body, transcend your humanity, escape from this earthly plane. But that's not it. That's another form of separation thinking. You're not here to escape from being human. You're here to experience being human as an expression of the divine. You're here to bring spirit into form, to bring heaven to earth, to demonstrate what it looks like when God takes on flesh and bone and walks around in the world. Your body is not separate from spirit. Your body is spirit made visible. Your body is the temple of God, not because God visits occasionally, but because God lives there permanently. Every cell of your body is infused with divine intelligence. Every atom of your being is vibrating with the creative energy of the universe. So honor your body, care for your body, love your body. Not because your body is all you are, but because your body is how you express who you are in this physical dimension. Your body is your vehicle for creating, for loving, for experiencing, for contributing. Treat it with respect. Treat it with reverence. Treat it as the sacred vessel it is. The same goes for your emotions. A lot of spiritual teachings tell you to transcend your emotions, to rise above anger and sadness and fear. But your emotions are not your enemy. Your emotions are messengers. They're guidance from your inner being. They're telling you when you're aligned with your true nature and when you're not. When you feel joy, when you feel love, when you feel peace, those emotions are telling you that you're in alignment with who you really are. You're connected to Source. You're flowing with the divine current. Keep doing what you're doing. When you feel anger, when you feel fear, when you feel despair, those emotions are telling you that you're out of alignment. You're believing thoughts that aren't true. You're focused on something that doesn't serve you. You're disconnected from your awareness of your divine nature. Change your thinking. Shift your focus. Reconnect with the truth. Your emotions are not good or bad. They're just information. They're like a guidance system built right into your being. When you learn to listen to them, when you learn to use them as a compass, they become incredibly valuable tools for staying aligned with your highest self. The same principle applies to your thoughts. You have somewhere between 60 and 70,000 thoughts a day. Most of them are the same thoughts you had yesterday and the day before and the day before that. Most of them are unconscious, automatic, habitual patterns that you've been running for years or even decades. And here's the thing, most of those thoughts are not serving you. Most of them are based on fear, on lack, on limitation. Most of them are reinforcing the illusion that you're separate from God, that you're powerless, that you're not enough. But you have the ability to change your thoughts. You have the ability to choose what you think about. You have the ability to redirect your mind away from fear and toward love, away from lack and toward abundance, away from limitation and toward possibility. This is one of the most powerful practices you can develop. Watch your thoughts. Become aware of what you're thinking about. Notice when your mind is dwelling on problems, on worries, on all the things that could go wrong. And when you catch yourself doing that, gently redirect your attention. Choose a better thought. Choose a thought that feels better, that serves you, that aligns with who you really are. You don't have to believe the new thought completely at first. You just have to choose it. You just have to practice it. And over time, as you consistently choose thoughts that align with your divine nature, those thoughts become your new habit. They become your new default. And when your thoughts change, your life changes. Because your thoughts create your reality. Not directly, not magically, but through the actions they inspire, through the feelings they generate, through the way they shape your perception of the world. When you think abundant thoughts, you notice opportunities you would have missed before. When you think loving thoughts, you attract loving people and experiences. When you think powerful thoughts, you take powerful actions. This is how you co-create with God. Not by trying to manipulate the universe, not by using positive thinking as a technique to get stuff, but by aligning your consciousness with the truth of who you are and then acting from that alignment. And here's what happens when you do this consistently. You start to experience a sense of ease, a sense of flow, a sense that life is working with you rather than against you. You stop feeling like you're pushing a boulder uphill. You stop feeling like you have to force everything to happen. You start trusting. You start allowing. You start relaxing into the natural unfolding of your life. This doesn't mean you become passive. It doesn't mean you stop taking action. It means you take inspired action rather than desperate action. You move forward with confidence and clarity because you know you're supported. You know you're guided. You know you're connected to infinite intelligence that knows the way even when you don't. And this intelligence, this divine guidance, is available to you all the time. It's not something you have to search for outside yourself. It's not something you have to go to a guru or a priest or a teacher to access. It's right there inside you, in your intuition, in your gut feeling, in that quiet voice that speaks to you in moments of stillness. But you have to be willing to listen. You have to be willing to slow down and get quiet and tune in to that inner guidance. Most people are so busy, so distracted, so caught up in the noise of the world that they can't hear the still, small voice of God speaking through their intuition. That's why practices like meditation are so valuable. Not because meditation makes you special or spiritual, but because meditation creates the space for you to hear what's always been there. It quiets the chatter of your mind so you can tune in to the wisdom of your soul. It helps you remember who you are beneath all the roles you play and all the identities you've taken on. When you meditate, you're not trying to get somewhere or achieve something. You're just being. You're just resting in your true nature. You're just allowing yourself to feel the presence of God that's always been there, always will be there, always is there. And from that place of presence, from that place of connection, everything becomes clear. You know what to do, you know where to go, you know what choices to make. Not because you figured it out with your intellect, but because you felt it with your intuition. You sensed it with your inner knowing. You received it from the divine intelligence that flows through you. This is living from spirit. This is living as God lives. This is what it means to be fully human and fully divine at the same time. You're not choosing between being spiritual and being practical. You're bringing the spiritual into the practical. You're demonstrating heaven on earth. You're being the change you wish to see in the world. And when you do this, when you live this way, you become an inspiration to others. Not because you're preaching or teaching or trying to convert anyone, but because your life itself becomes a teaching. Your presence becomes a gift. Your way of being in the world shows others what's possible. People will ask you, how do you stay so peaceful? How do you stay so positive? How do you handle challenges with such grace? And you can tell them the truth. You can tell them that you're not separate from God. You can tell them that they're not separate from God. You can remind them of who they really are. But the most powerful way you teach is not through your words. It's through your example. It's through living from that place of connection. It's through being love, being peace, being joy, being abundance. When people see that in you, when they feel that from you, something inside them awakens. Something inside them remembers. Something inside them says, yes, that's possible for me too. And that's the real reason you're here, not to accumulate things or achieve status or prove yourself. You're here to remember who you are and to help others remember who they are. You're here to be a light in the darkness, a presence of love in a world that's forgotten how to love, a demonstration of what it looks like to live from your divine nature. This is your purpose. This is everyone's purpose, not some specific job or career or role, but this fundamental intention to be an expression of God in human form. Everything else, all the specific details of your life, flow from this central purpose. When you align with this purpose, when you live from this intention, your whole life becomes meaningful. Even the ordinary moments become sacred. Even the mundane tasks become holy, because you're doing everything as an offering, as a gift, as an expression of the divine love that you are. You're not waiting for retirement to start living. You're not postponing your happiness until you achieve some goal. You're not putting your life on hold until conditions are perfect. You're living fully, completely, totally right now, because now is all there is. Now is where God is. Now is where life happens. And in this now, in this present moment, you have everything you need. You have the air to breathe. You have the heart that beats. You have the consciousness that's aware of being aware. That's all God. That's all divine. That's all miraculous. When you really see it, when you really feel it, you realize you're already living in heaven. You're already experiencing paradise. You've been there all along. You just forgot to notice. So wake up, open your eyes, see the truth of what's right in front of you. You are not separate from God. You never have been. You never will be. You are the presence of God in this moment, in this place, in this life. Act like it, think like it, be like it. Stop waiting for permission to claim your divine inheritance. Stop waiting for someone else to tell you that you're worthy. Stop waiting for conditions to be perfect before you step into your power. You are worthy right now. You are powerful right now. You are divine right now. The universe is not testing you to see if you deserve good things. The universe is constantly giving you good things. You just have to open yourself up to receive them. You just have to align with the flow of abundance that's always flowing. You just have to say yes to the blessings that are trying to reach you. And those blessings are not just material things. They're not just money or possessions or success. The real blessings are peace of mind, joy in your heart, love in your relationships, meaning in your work, connection with the divine. These are the things that make life worth living. These are the things that satisfy the soul. You can have all the money in the world and still feel empty if you're not connected to your spiritual source. You can have all the success and recognition and still feel lonely if you're not living from your true self. But when you're connected to God, when you're aligned with your divine nature, you can have very little in material terms and still feel rich beyond measure. You can face difficult circumstances and still feel at peace. You can encounter challenges and still feel supported. Because your sense of well-being doesn't come from external conditions. It comes from internal alignment. It comes from knowing who you are. It comes from living in harmony with the creative force of the universe. This is what it means to be truly successful. Not having a lot of stuff, not being famous or important, but being at peace with yourself. Being in love with life, being connected to your source. That's the success that matters. That's the success that lasts. And you can have that success right now. You don't have to wait. You don't have to earn it. You just have to choose it. You just have to remember the truth. You are not separate from God. You are an expression of the divine. You are the universe experiencing itself through your unique perspective. Live from that truth. Make decisions from that truth. Treat yourself and others from that truth. And watch how your life transforms. Watch how doors open. Watch how synchronicities multiply. Watch how love flows. Watch how joy expands. Watch how peace settles into your bones. This is your birthright. This is what you were born for. Not to struggle and suffer and barely get by. You were born to thrive, to flourish, to create, to love, to be fully alive. You were born to demonstrate what's possible when a human being remembers their divine nature. So stop playing small. Stop hiding your light. Stop pretending you're less than you are. The world needs you to shine. The world needs you to be bold. The world needs you to claim your power and use it for good. The world needs you to be the full expression of God that you came here to be. And when you do that, when you step into that fullness, everyone benefits because you're not separate from anyone else. We're all connected. We're all one. When you heal, the whole world heals a little bit. When you grow, the whole world grows. When you shine your light, you give others permission to shine theirs. This is how we change the world. Not through force, not through fighting, not through trying to fix everything that's wrong. We change the world by changing ourselves. We change the world by waking up to who we really are. We change the world by living from love instead of fear, from abundance instead of lack, from connection instead of separation. And it starts with you, right now, in this moment. You have the power to choose differently. You have the power to see yourself differently. You have the power to live differently. That power is the power of God flowing through you. Use it, trust it, follow it wherever it leads. Your life is a gift. Your consciousness is a miracle. Your existence matters. Not because of what you do or achieve, but because of what you are. You are the universe made conscious. You are God experiencing life through your eyes. You are love itself taking form and walking around in the world. Never forget that. Never doubt that. Never let anyone convince you otherwise. You are divine. You are eternal. You are infinite. And you are here right now for a reason. Trust that reason. Trust yourself. Trust the process of life. Trust God, knowing that God is not separate from you, but is the very essence of your being. This is the secret truth about God and our universe. It's been hidden in plain sight all along. You are what you've been searching for. You are who you've been waiting for. You are the answer to your own prayers. Come home to yourself. Come home to God. Come home to the truth of who you are. And from that place of homecoming, live your life fully, freely, fearlessly. This is your time. This is your moment. This is your life. Make it count. Make it beautiful. Make it divine.